Hi, it's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and today I want to show you just a quick way of adding some decoration to your mandala if you've used a budget material on it, so crayons. So this mandala is from Tiger Links. It's from her Facebook page. It's a freebie that's given away, and as you can see, it doesn't have any detail on it, so it's a perfect one for this example of how to add a little bit more detail to your pictures or try something different, just having a bit of fun. So I've coloured it in crayons and piles of different colours. So that was just with a packet of Crayola crayons. And this one, what I did was, rather than decorate the whole picture, I just picked out some bits to colour in, and I coloured those in Faber-Castell oil pastels. I only got 12 of those, and a lot of them were broken, so it made it hard to put the colour down. So what we're going to do is just turn it into a bit of scratch art. We could colour in basically all of this in black and go over it and then do a scratch art design on it, but we would lose the actual shape of the mandala if we did that. So to retain the shape of the mandala in each particular drawing, what we have to do is go over it in black first of all, and then scratch out our design for the individual components. Otherwise we won't be able to see where we're scratching, if that makes any sense. So what I've got some black poster paint. It's just cheap from the $2 shop. It was $2 for all of those. You could use Indian ink if you have that instead. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to paint over it, but I'm not going to paint the whole thing. I'm only going to paint the bits that I'm going to currently work on, and then I'll scratch it in and then I'll go back and do the other bits. Otherwise I won't be able to tell where I've painted and what the original design is. Paint the black of the circle, staying away from that black outline that's on the artwork. You could just cover bits, which is, you also don't have to use black. You can use any colour, but I always think black just looks way better. And we'll also put the black poster paint on the one that I did it with the Faber-Castell oil pastels. The idea with this one is that you would colour in the balance of it, so you would have the black look with the coloured images underneath when we scratch it out, and then you might have pencil for the rest of it. So now what we do is we wait for it to dry, and now it's just a matter of scratching it off. So to scratch off we need a sharp pointy object, so like an awl or a paper clip or even a thumbtack. So you could use a thumbtack or a pin push, or I got some little bits and pieces from my husband's toolbox, or you could use a craft knife if you're just careful with it, or a nail, or just any sort of sharp pointy object that you might have that you just need to be careful with, that you don't tear the paper. So then for design inspiration, there's a lot of things that we could do. We could just freehand some patterns in here. If you know how to do Zentangles, you could do some, lovely little patterns and whatnot. So little different drawings, bubbles, patterns on there, all sorts of things like that. And, simple little designs that you could just freehand on. You could also use a stencil. So for example, I've got these stencils that I've bought in shops or on eBay. So I could position them over there and just sort of scratch out within the stencil. So depending on what you've got and how big the design is. You could also just trace around things that you've got, so like a 20-cent piece, or got some things from my husband's toolbox, like this is a clip or something, so I could trace around it and make patterns, or even things like a thimble, you know, just to make a circle pattern. Or you could use your ruler to draw up some lines and scratch out that way. Got another fancy ruler from my husband's toolbox, so I could do circles and whatnot with that, or even half circles or scallops or whatever I like with that fancy toolbox ruler. And I've got this stick-on magnet thing, just showing you this for inspiration of what you could cut out and scratch out and what sort of patterns that you could colour in if you were doing something like a butterfly or a flower or whatnot. So lots of ideas there for the scratching part of it. I have no idea what I'm going to do. What I did earlier though was I did a little test bit over here. So I'm just going to test out my scratchy tools. So this is a screwdriver, I think my husband said it was, from the toolbox. So that's scratched out pretty well. This is another one of his screwdrivers, I think, so that's producing a finer line. That one's alright, but it's got a flat, blunt end, so it's not really that good. I don't like that one. I'll put that one aside. Pin, push pin. And that's, yeah, a very fine line. A little bit hard to hold on to the end of it though, but, you know, all good. Let's scratch. Just doing some half circles around here, and I'm going around the edges and just scraping off any poster paint, doing a little outline. And so we've scratched off a little half circle design there. And you do get a little bit of black and whatnot poster paint coming out over your picture, so it's a good thing that if you're going to frame it, you'd be cutting it out because you are getting a little bit of black dust, etc. on there. So we'll do the outside now. Now we've finished all the scratch on the black part, so what we could do is we could leave it the way we have it now, or we could go in and paint more black on there and repeat the same exercise, because and have a look at my fingers just from brushing all that black away, so don't do it in white clothes. So we only did it this way so that we could still see the elements, so we can come in here and do the black on here, black here, and you know, black either here or here or here. We'll do the same with it. So remember, this one we did it halfway so that you could just colour in around the other bits. Now the oil pastels are way more vibrant than the crayons are, so if you want a really vibrant look, then the oil pastels are the way to go. So there we go, we've just added some simple patterns and it comes out all with lovely neon colours. Now this one I've decided to leave some of the original picture showing and just do black over some of it.